Good morning and welcome to everyone joining us from across Nigeria and beyond. I am Bola Ajomale, your moderator for today's webinar. And trust me when I say you are in the right room, perhaps for those joining us online, the right Zoom. Before I start the ball rolling, allow me to introduce our amiable panelists for today. Right here, I have the Managing Director of Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions, Mrs. Obiageli Chiki-Ijegbelum. Good to have you. Welcome here.
Thank you, our viewers, for joining us.
We also have Mr. Bola Ajomale, who is our special guest. He is the Executive Commissioner Operations at the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. He'll be joining us online. Welcome, sir, and it's good to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also have Ekene Obiakala, who is the Head of Operations at Greenwich Registrars.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Right in this space also is the Head of Business Development at Greenwich Registrars, Anne Mutua.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us. And last but not the least is Ayobami Ekpemolu, who is the Head of IT here at Greenwich Registrars.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Having done the introductions, I would like to welcome you once again. And the theme for this webinar is Shareholding in the Digital Era, Building Trust Through Innovation. Before we go ahead, I would like us to reminisce over a little something. Okay, so we are in the age where our phones, our digital devices basically seem to know more than we do. And I begin to wonder, say for instance, Siri, you can call Siri and tell Siri to help you find something right on your phone, something that you do not even have an idea where it is situated. And it makes me wonder, how do we transfer this trust to shareholding? How do we ensure that a shareholder who has a stake is confident that his stake is transparent and there's accountability in that regard, and which is the crux of our conversation today. For those who are here with us, I'm sure you'll be wondering, what is Greenwich? What is Greenwich, and what do they do? Greenwich Registrars and Data Solution is a pioneer in securities register management in Nigeria with 65 years of heritage. That's actually a lot. And they serve as an intermediary between organizations and their shareholders, managing records, share transfers, and ensuring transparency and accountability in data management. So when we talk about shareholding, Greenwich Solutions, Registrars and Data Solutions is not just part of the conversation. They are helping build the bridge between the old registrar system and the future, which is technology. And to take us deeper into that journey will be no other than the amiable MD of Greenwich Registrars, Mrs. Obiageli Chiki-Ijegbelum. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and we want to thank our viewers for joining us.
All right. Okay, so how has Greenwich 65-year legacy shaped its capacity to introduce new digital solutions without losing the trust and stability stakeholders or shareholders expect?
I think that's a very good question. For us in Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions, we've been here for 65 years. And you tell me that anybody that's been here for 65 years, there will have been a lot of trust and integrity that you have built over the years. Over the years, we've also seen ourselves, and we know that we are a dependable and a reliant registrar company, both for the capital market operators and also for the regulators at once. And it has helped us to build a system with a lot of integrity that can be trusted. The legacy actually is the bedrock for leading us into this innovation. You can imagine the kind of registrar expertise and operations that we've done over the years, and also the regulations that we have gone through over the years. These two key values we've built and put into the products that we've actually put out there for our shareholders. We're going to be speaking about the GEs, we're going to be speaking about the e-offer, and also the probate portal. All this we've done painstakingly, looking at the regulations, like the SEC regulations, the NGX, before bringing out this portal. Integrity is key for us as Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions, and integrity in putting out portals that will speak to the trust that people have put in us. For us, we have developed portals, we have developed the GEs, and it has led us to lead and to lead with a lot of responsibility. So the legacy is a beautiful or a good step in the right direction, and it has led us to innovate and innovate with a lot of responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Obiageli. That's actually a very compelling overview, and thank you for that. We will now be moving on to our special guest, Mr. Bola Ajomale, to give his remark. He is the Executive Commissioner Operations at SEC, and he's going to be giving us a brief remark on the role of innovation in strengthening Nigeria's capital markets. Over to you, Mr. Ajomale.
Good morning. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. And MD and Greenwich, congratulations on this program, on this webinar. It's very appropriate. The future indeed is digital, and it's going to affect the whole market, especially the investors and the companies, the issuers, in various ways. I would point out a couple of areas where it's going to, first of all, hit the market. So first of all, we're migrating away from paper into digital infrastructure. So obviously, as a registrar, you probably want to get those structures right. I was quite pleased when the MD was saying that you're already building portals and platforms that would accommodate this. I would encourage that you continue in that direction. And at the same time, you would find that the CSDs are also moving in that same direction. And as a result, it'll be very necessary for you to continue to integrate even more and to work closely with those platforms, especially the CSDs. Another thing that's going to happen is that regulation will get stronger, will get tighter. There'll be more transparency in the market. We'll be able to see transactions easier. We'll be able to trace records a lot easier. There'll be more data protection in the market. It's critical that we protect our data, because as it gets more digital, it means it's more accessible to various parties. Some of them do not have the best intent. And so the security and the protection that you establish over the data that you're collecting is going to be a very important and very critical aspect. We would recommend ISO 27001 as the kind of encryption that you need to go through and the kind of protection that you need to put in place. Another thing that's going to happen very quickly and is imminent is the move to the T+2 settlement. We're currently in a T+3 settlement cycle. We're moving to a T+2 anytime from now. By the 28th of November, that's a hard date. And then later on next year, on the back of technology, we're hoping to move to T+1 settlement in the market in general. Again, what will happen, and what we can see from the SEC, is that for registrars, the revenue models will change as well. And so investor analytics, e-voting, e-AGMs, and also digital advisory services would become far more prominent as would amount to a larger portion of your revenues than just the normal registrar services that you're doing now. So that's the kind of direction we see the market going into. Now, what are we as regulators doing? We're coming up with frameworks on a regular basis that would accommodate these changes, that would accommodate the new platforms and the innovation that's coming. We've set up a regulatory incubation framework that allows people to come in and test their products, test their platforms, and we'll assess them. And at the end of it, when we pass them through, they then graduate into the public service. We think for the investors, it would improve the experience. We think that it would allow for seamless access to the market, faster processing, more transparency, especially at places like EGMs. There'll be e-voting platforms, e-dividends will be able to be processed a lot faster. And so in general, we believe that it'll be better for the market as a whole. So I'll stop at that point.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ajomale. That was really insightful. And I agree with you that we all want a seamless process, and that in as much as the world is going digital, we all have to move with the trend. And that's what this whole conversation is about. So thank you very much, sir. We would now move quickly to process, the heart of operations, and how trust is built every single day. To help us with this is Ekene Obiakala. She's a divisional head of operations at Greenwich Registrars. So Ekene, please tell us, your team ensures that systems, work and that shareholder confidence remains strong. So how do Greenwich Registrars digital tools ensure seamless service, ensure that these services are error-free, especially when shareholders want to, query updates?
Thank you for this question. Having listened to the other panelists, we can agree that share registration there's been a paradigm shift from the traditional share registration to digital share registration. Hence, the reason why GRDS has actually introduced digital tools. I'll be speaking to two of these tools. The first of it is the GEs. Now, what does the GEs do for shareholders? The GEs makes it very seamless for shareholders to get first-hand information around their shares. Unlike before now, they will have to walk all the way to our offices and make inquiries. But with the introduction of GEs, it's quite seamless and it's very convenient for all the shareholders. They will have access to their dividend statements, they will have access to their shareholdings, and they also have access to first-hand information of happenings in the market, in the capital market. So it's no longer a case of where they'll have to be going from registrars to say, I want to get information. This information is right before them in the application GEs. So all they have to do actually is to get authenticated on the application, and boom, they have this information that they require. And I'll also be speaking to the e-forms. This is very, very important for shareholders. Before now, they will have to fill out physical forms and then forward to us for adoption. But with the introduction of e-forms, shareholders can fill these forms online. They update their bank accounts, they will update their phone numbers, their email, their CHN numbers, whatever data they wish to update. E-forms makes it very seamless and very accessible. So for us in GRDS, we have decided to take this lead on digital tools, hence the introduction of these digital tools. My other colleagues or panelists also will be speaking to other digital tools like the e-form, the e-offer form. They will be speaking to that, the probate portal, and all these put together. The intention is to make our shareholders' experience very enjoyable.
Thank you so much, and that was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
So before we move on to the business side of things, I'd like to welcome you once again for those joining in, and you are here at Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions webinar, and we are discussing shareholding in the digital era. Kindly utilize the chat box. If you have questions for our panelists or speaker, kindly utilize the chat box, and then we would have it all read after this session. All right, so going to business and innovation, I'll be speaking with Anne. All right, so looking at the capital markets, you're the head of business development department. So looking at the capital markets at large, what growth opportunities do you see arising from Greenwich Registrars offering? Talking about inclusion of small shareholders, faster turnarounds for corporate actions.
Okay, so I'll start by outlining our digital platforms and applications. We have the GEs, which my colleague has said quite a bit about. We have the probate asset gathering portal. We have the e-offer portal, and then we also have the e-forms portal. The probate portal, probate involves the process of transmission, that is gathering assets and transmitting for the beneficiaries of deceased shareholders. Now, this has, for a long time in our business, share registration business, been a very naughty process in the sense that it requires a lot of documentation, it requires a lot of legwork, it's just been quite difficult. However, we've tried to demystify this process by this portal, wherein wherever the beneficiaries are, they can log in and register the transmission process, drop in the documents, and possibly even monitor the ongoing process. So it has taken a lot of pain of that process for them and also for us. With particular reference to our client companies, I would want to speak about the e-offer. Now, in the process of capital raising, usually, as we know, as has been in the past, there's a lot of attendant costs that come with the printing and distribution of the offer documents, the prospectus. What the e-offer platform now does is that it has taken away all of that, in the sense that the offer form is now digitized, is on the platform. Shareholders can just go in there, whatever the form of capital raise exercises is, will be it a public offer, initial or later on, or just the normal public offer, or a rights issue, whatever form it comes, it's hosted there. You just go in, fill in the data, fill in the information. The process from start to finish is digitized and has taken away a lot of pain from the issuer side, and also even for us, because we're able to gather the information seamlessly. In the process, if there's anything that the system requires that is not fed, it is set there, and the shareholder is required to do that. On the side of security, as you asked on there, our portals have strong user management, wherein we have two-step or multi-factor authentication. The data gathering complies with NDPR standard requirements for data management, and it's all encrypted also, and hosted on very secure platforms. These platforms were designed by very qualified people, experienced people, and so in that sense, we also have to. I can say confidently that there's nothing to worry about. Shareholder information, client information is very secure and well protected in the whole process. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You agree with me that this has been great so far. Do not forget to utilize the chat box, and then we'll be taking your questions after the session. On the second round of questions, I was speaking to the MD once again. As you lead the organization into the tech era, what governance principles are non-negotiable for Greenwich registrars, particularly around transparency and protecting shareholders' interests?
Thank you. On transparency, I think we're starting first with this communication that we're taking and engaging our shareholders. The first one is that you must communicate the kind of portals that you have and what that portal entails and how their data processes will change or will be modified. So all that we've done by calling this webinar today. We're also going to take feedback, which is part of the governance. So you take feedback and make sure that you adjust your portals to reflect those feedbacks by our shareholders. We do not take integrity of data, is priority for us. And we have made sure that in putting governance modules around this platform, we've taken it into regulation parameters that will ensure that information and the register of members at every time is with integrity and it's as it is. So there will never be any mistake, and information has a lot of integrity around it. Thank you.
That's absolutely good to hear. Integrity, security. So don't be scared. Okay, so moving on to Ekene. In what ways do you monitor and measure shareholders' confidence? You are in operation, so you know these things better. Are there feedback loops or metrics you track to ensure that the tools you deploy are delivering trust in practice?
Thank you for that question. So the truth is that you don't have digital tools like what we have, and you don't put in a feedback mechanism. And shareholders are meant to get back to us to say oh, this is how we feel about your services. This is what we think about the digital tools you have actually pushed out to us. So in answering your question, we actually do periodic surveys. These surveys, just like shareholders speaking to us to say, oh, we are satisfied in this part of the services you've been offering, or we are not satisfied with these services you're offering. That is then speaking to us, actually. So we have to do periodic surveys, and when these surveys come up, we analyze them, we look at them and say, oh, okay, this is our rating. And for those that are not very okay, we also have a loop to address each and every one of their grievances. Aside from the survey, we also have feedback from our regulators, because don't forget that this is a market, and we and the regulators are all players in this market. So shareholders would also go back to them to say, this is what we think about these digital tools or the services of Greenwich Treasures and Data Solutions. So the regulators in turn come back to us to say, this is what the customers think about, this is what shareholders think about it. If there are ways for us to amend, we amend. And then if there are things we are doing correctly, they also applaud us on that. So that is another way of getting feedbacks from shareholders, actually. And to crown it up, we also have a very robust conflict management framework that is actually out to ensure that every resolutions, are carried out end to end, and there is no space or any lacuna for our shareholders to be disgruntled. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I told you Greenwich Registers are not here to play. And on the note, we'll be going back to Anne. How do Greenwich digital platforms deliver value to clients, companies in terms of cost, transparency, control, and information security?
Okay. So the authority has spoken. Our SEC commissioner did indicate, and he stated quite clearly, that the future of our market is digital. With the passing of the ISA Act 2025 also, there's been provision, the recognition as well of digital assets. We are positioning for this new future, for this future of the market, of the shareholders, and even for the companies. Now, we have a very critical mass of our population that is digital and start and finish most of their activities on their devices. We recognize also that they are very important to the capital market ecosystem. And we are out to demystify the myth that this system as it exists now is for a certain category or a certain population. The market has always been open to everybody, from the high net worth to the everyday person in the market, right? But we want to really go for this critical mass that is very critical in every ecosystem now. In designing the portals, they were engaged. I would say that they even designed the portals for us. They built most of the applications, and in recognition of their needs and their wants. So we're preparing for that future. We're here to address the needs, the current needs of all categories of people. You go in seamlessly and carry out a lot of activities that prior were physical, We hope that our new generation of people and investors, the future, who constitute the future of the market, will put this to very, very proper use and utilize all the benefits that come with them, because they're very enormous. They're a lot. There's a whole lot to benefit from all of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. So this is the time where you have to wear your 9D glasses, because Ayobami is about to take us to the Greenwich Registrar Cinemas. Okay, so he's going to be, giving us a walkthrough of the GE's app, the asset gathering portal, the e-forms and e-offer platforms. So over to you, Ayobami.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. To showcase some of our digital platforms, we'll be starting with e-forms, which is our fast, secure, and paperless form submission platform online. So what we have done with the e-forms is to eliminate the need for our shareholders to physically visit any of our offices to resolve issues around unclaimed dividend, change of mandate, and change of personal information. So the e-forms portal is a centralized digital hub where shareholders can complete and submit critical forms from change of address to dividend related mandates. And the beauty of it is it's all online. This has also been done to further accommodate different categories of customers, because we understand that for our shareholders, some are with EcoBank, so that was built specifically for them. We also have the e-dividend that speaks to every other client company that we manage today. We also have the change of mandate form, the records update form, and the change of address form. And to get started on the e-forms, ultimately we require you to verify with your email address, which is what we are going to use to send you further correspondences should we require further information about your unclaimed dividend or other information you need us to update essentially. And the OTP is sent, which is a one-time password. It will be sent to your email address for verification. And for users who might not get the OTP at the first instance, you will be required to resend the OTP. The option is also there to resend the OTP for authentication. And after the OTP, we've ensured that each form is broken into simple guided sections for users to fill out, and also we've provided users with prompts and tool tips to prevent error. So ultimately, there is available for individual joint account holders, corporate account holders, estate accounts. Also, if you are a stockbroker. And also, you will be asked if you are filling this form for yourself or on behalf of a minor, or for shares that were purchased on your behalf. Of course, there's a personal information update column which requires you to fill in your personal information. There's a bank mandate details that you have to provide. Of course, you have to also provide your share information. And moving to the tedious part, which is the document upload. This has also been done seamlessly. So from the comfort of your homes, you can get to upload your passport photograph, your signature specimen, and a valid photo ID card. And also, we are going to require your consent and declaration to give us the access to process your data and to confirm that the information you've provided to us is right and is accurate. And lastly, on the forms, we've also provided users with the ability to be able to track their forms. All you need to do is to supply the email that you used at the point of reaching out to us. And we'll get back to you to tell you what the status of your form is. And also, we've been able to remove the traditional delays and use of paper from the process of mandating of accounts. It provides a way to check on the progress, making it secure, making it transparent, and making it stress-free. And the bonus of it all is it's all online. The second I'll be speaking about is the GEs, which is our shareholding monitoring mobile application. Unlike the e-forms, the GE is a mobile monitoring application, and it's available for download on App Store and the Google Play Store. The GEs requires user registration because you have to be an active shareholder to be able to access the GE's application. But I mean, the registration process is seamless because just little details are required to begin. And after successful registration, obviously, you're going to be presented with an overview of our dashboard that shows a lot of our services ranging from dividend history to portfolio history, to asset gathering services, to stock prices, like my colleague earlier mentioned. Also, the e-forms, the mobile version of the e-forms have also been embedded here for users who might not have access to a PC, a laptop. This can be done from the comfort of their mobile devices. If you select the dividend history, for instance, we also understand that some of our shareholders have multiple company accounts and multiple company shares. So you will be able to select the company account you want. You'll be able to select the account number. And after that, you'll be presented with all your dividend history, both paid and unpaid. And of course, you can also download your dividend history. And for the forms, we've also provided a link to walk shareholders through on how to properly navigate and fill the form to ensure that the right and correct information is what is being provided. For users who might not want to, or who are not able to complete the form at first instance, you have the liberty to save the form and come back and complete. And of course, with every beautiful application, and because we always have our shareholders at the forefront of what we are doing, we are going to be coming up with different updates on our GE's application. And the current updates that we have for you right now are dividend status, where you'll be able to see pending payments or those requiring action, and also notification, which is automated alerts, which informs shareholders of dividend declaration, processing statuses, and when their accounts are credited. And finally, on our digital platforms today, we'll be speaking about our probate portal, which we call our asset gathering portal. This is an online application, just like the e-forms, and just like our GE's mobile application, it requires registration, and that is because of the peculiarities around the probate business. So ultimately, the registration is simple, it's seamless. The link is currently displayed right now. Is available for executors, administrators, and shareholders to create a secure profile and log in to begin their transmission process. So to register, ultimately, we require just basic details, which is your name, your last name, and a phone number, an email address, and a password to create an account with us. And after that, you are going to be presented with a dashboard that shows a host of all our services as regards the probate service, which ranges from advisory on letters of administration to transmission of shares, to endorsement of bank certificates, and the lodging of wills. So you can select any of the services and begin to enjoy our probate business. And also, you can create application based on any of the services you have selected. You can track your application should you think we should have reached out to you or we should have gotten back to you. You can also edit your application should you think you've made an error in filling and submitting the application, and a whole lot of other things can be done, really. And the use cases are endless, and we hope to continue to innovate because we have an innovative team in-house who will continue to think of how to make the life of our shareholders better. And finally, for our probate business, you'll be required to upload all the required documents depending on the services on the service that you require. You'll be required to enter the deceased name, upload letter of administration, death certificate, evidence of share ownership, and banker's confirmation. And again, with this, we've removed all cases of need to physically visit any of our offices to get your probate business started or your transmission process started. And finally, before you submit, you'll be able to review the application to check whether all the documents and information that you have supplied is correct, is adequate, and it's what we'll be requiring to get your business started. So basically, the probate portal removes the traditional delays and confusion in claiming dividends from a deceased estate, making the process secure, transparent, and stress-free. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aribami. That was excellent. And I'm sure even those who are less tech-savvy would appreciate how user-friendly these platforms are. He has said it all, and you've been told earlier that the market is for everyone. Now, would love to hear from our audience. I'm sure we have questions already. Okay, so we have a question directed to Ekene, and it says, diaspora customers sometimes have problem with linking non-Nigerian numbers to our accounts. Can that be done on any of the platforms?
Just like we've said earlier on that we've gone digital, and these digital tools are out to solve problems, irrespective of wherever that customer is. That can be done perfectly on the platform. Don't forget that as long as that shareholder has a bank account, of course, you must have done your BVN, which is nationally recognized in Nigeria. And once you have that BVN number, of course, we can actually authenticate the shareholder, link the shareholder to the shares in our own records, and then be able to solve any problem that that shareholder is actually experiencing. So BVN makes it easier for us to link shareholders, to link accounts from the bank accounts to our shareholding in our records. So it makes the whole process very seamless. So it's actually very possible.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if anyone else on the panel wants to contribute to what Ekene has said.
I think the response has been exhaustive.
All right.
So the BVN allows us to in any way navigate and link all those accounts, and I don't think those we don't have any issues around that, and we've been doing it for our shareholders, so it's not a problem.
All right, thank you so much for that. We have another question, and it says, I'm attending from the UK. When I want to increase shares allotment as an addition to the old one, which is under your registrar, which of the platforms can I use?
Okay, so in increasing share allotment, I believe what the person is talking about is the e-offer platform. There's also an application on the e-offer platform that can actually allow you to increase your allotment. It calculates the total amount of funds that you're putting and calculates it to the number of shareholding that you have. So it's a possibility with the e-offer platform. So you can be done for any offer.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think I'll just throw this one to Anne. This person says, I'm trying to do inter-member transfer, request for transfer of portfolio, and upload some documentation. Which platform will I use for this?
An inter-member transfer is a broker-related service, to be honest. So we don't have on our portals, because we're not stockbrokers. I hope you are not mistaking us for, we're registrars. So we are the back end and not the ones that will process that. It's your broker that will process an inter-member transfer. So I would suggest that you contact your brokers. However, if you need more clarification on this, you can send us an email, because my understanding is of an inter-member transfer is broker to broker. So if you need further guidance on anything related at the back end that we would do for you, you can send us an email. But kindly reach out to your brokers. They will definitely see this through for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we still have one more. And this says, how do you help resolve shareholders with multiple accounts and names?
I will take that one.
All right.
Yes.
Because you see issues like that every time.
Yes, it's actually in place for you to have multiple accounts, and because the regulators are looking on how to reduce the claim dividend, because I know that's what all this is speaking to actually. For multiple accounts, if you want to, what you have to do is to merge those accounts to become one. Of course, if you call it a multiple account, I'm sure they're all going to be in the same name and the same address, and the signatures are actually going to be the same. So as long as we are able to authenticate the signature, and we are convinced that we're actually dealing with the right shareholders, because it's going to be very disastrous that you're merging another person's account to another person's account. Of course, that is not the right thing to do. So once we are able to authenticate that we are dealing with the right shareholder, and whoever you say you are, and we tie those accounts together with those indices that I've just mentioned, your address, your signature, and we confirm you're the same person. Of course, you just do us a letter to say, okay, I want to merge this account, and of course, it's actually done. We merge this account, so it's not a very difficult process to go through.
Okay, thank you so much for that. The conversation doesn't end here. I'm sure that they'll be more than willing to engage with you further. However, there's one more question. So this says, going by the present state of our economy and the get-rich syndrome and fraud prevalent in our climate, how do you ensure data protection?
Okay, I think that speaks to me. So, so ultimately, like my colleague earlier said, we are a highly regulated business. So data protection is at the forefront of what we do. And so because of that, we've ensured that, first of all, our portals are seamless, are riding on a secure platform, which ultimately has reduced a level of malicious intention or users who might want to, get hold of information that is not theirs. And we've also ensured that the communication between the client system and our back office is encrypted, like earlier mentioned by my colleague. So the information that is coming in and out of Greenwich Registrars and Data Solution is not only encrypted, but also stored in an encrypted version on our platforms. So this has been what has shaped the way we have developed our solutions, and we have incorporated this in anything we are doing at Greenwich. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ayobami. Someone sent in an appreciation message, And it says, Greenwich Registrars paid recently all my outstanding dividends into my account. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that that's very much received. I don't think we have more questions. So we have come to the close of this amazing session, and you'd accept that this has been insightful and it has also been an engaging conversation. We began by talking about building trust and linking that into shareholding. We have seen the various tools that Greenwich registrars, deal with, and how it has worked in operations and business development. So the key takeaways basically are that Greenwich Registrars has a 65-year legacy of governance and integrity, now merging with modern technology. Innovation has been a driver of transparency, inclusion, and shareholder confidence. Also, Greenwich Registrars tools, they have tools like the GE's app, Asset Gathering Portal, e-forms, and e-offer, which redefine access, accuracy, and security in shareholding. So, what can we do differently from here? Our call to action is that everyone should download the GE's app, and the official download link is scrolling right on your screen. Also, they'll be reaching out to you to send the links to their various platforms. We encourage you to explore it, experience it, and be a part of digital transformation in shareholding. I would like to appreciate our panelists once again. Mrs. Obiageli, thank you so much.
Thank
Ayobami,
you.
Mekene, and Anne, thank you so much for being here. And to our audience, thank you. Thanks for your questions and all your messages. And I'm sure that the conversation doesn't end here. My name is Bola Ajomale once again, and I'm deeply honored to have moderated this session. Keep building trust. Keep pushing for digital innovation, and while at it, keep Greenwich Registrars in mind. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.